how did you get into your character? And the question from the audience is, some actors make playlists of music they think their character will listen to. Did you do something similar, and how did you approach your character?
So something that was really cool was Alice actually made each one of us specialized playlists with songs that kind of fit in the vein of what our characters would enjoy, and just kind of painting the world of Squamish and kind of this Midwest town. And wait, not Midwest town, what am I saying? this town that is like small and I don't know, just lots of acoustic stuff. And I actually kind of made my own playlist on the side and would listen to certain things, because kind of like what Alice was saying earlier, my character Ellie is much more with John and internal and kind of an introvert compared to the way that I usually communicate in my daily life, which is a bit more extroverted. And I'm also a little bit older than Ellie too, so just navigating just a bit differently. And just, yeah, I feel like kind of listening to this music really helped me get into that quiet side of myself. And I feel like I listened to music a lot during this whole film, because I would have to like go away before certain scenes as well. And also to just reading things as well. Like when Alice told me to read No Exit, I feel like that really helped me kind of start to see what this world was like from kind of an outsider's view, I guess, like an omniscient view, Alice's view of what these characters are like living in the parallels of their own kind of like bad situations, or hell rather, as it is in No Exit. But yeah, those are just a couple of things. Sorry, I just rambled.
I guess for me then, it was less about trying to find my way into a character and more about trying to find parts of myself, I guess, that I had hidden away. And I think there's a lot of things I connected to with Paul automatically, and it was trying to kind of get rid of certain things that I've layered on top through personal experiences, sort of like where I kind of live in naturally in an emotional state, and was trying to like do a lot of work on myself so that when I was actually on set, I was able as readily as possible, at least, to be kind of dive into the relationships that we are working with, and to be able to be flexible for Alice to maneuver in however which way that the scene needed to go, if I was coming at it from a slightly different angle, or however the scene was working at the time. I guess in terms of like others type of prep, I mean, on the music side of things, Alice had actually given us all playlists to listen to, so it was listening to that. And then just really trying to dive into the relationships. I think Leah and Alexxis have said in other interviews where it was just like, there was times where they had to kind of like find the relationship of Aster and Ellie, which was very different than their relationship together. And I think for me, it was very much the same thing of trying to really narrow into that space while we were on set together. And sometimes more successful than others, as Alice can attest to, but it was a lot of fun, and definitely very rewarding to be able to actually, when we actually got there.
I always forget how to unmute this thing. Okay. For me, I think everybody on set could attest to the fact that I probably had headphones in like 24 hours a day. So I was definitely constantly listening to music, definitely Alice's playlist. I unfortunately didn't have Spotify. I had Apple Music, so every single song that she sent, I had to download it onto my Apple Music, which is actually a huge pain in the butt. One of the PAs actually had to help me with it. But so yeah, definitely listening to her playlist, I think, helps kind of set the mood, set the tone, and definitely listening to some of my own favorite songs that kind of help me get into specific moods or make me feel specific emotions that, translate on screen. But I think, hopping into Aster, I was kind of lucky enough to resonate with her a lot in general, and as Alexxis. So it was a little bit easier for me to step in that sense, but I think it was understanding, again, with Aster, it just was about the connections. So it was also finding those, because like Daniel said, my relationship with Leah in real life was a lot different than my relationship with Aster and Leah. It was very, very different. My relationship with Leah was very kind of like over the top. We were always joking around and being goofy and too loud and obnoxious. And, on set, we definitely had to kind of find that rhythm of being able to be together, but also understand that there's a totally different connection that we need to reach. So it was very much so just trying to kind of navigate that, and her still having to kind of be shy around me, even though she's not. So I think that was a little bit difficult. And then also with Daniel, you know, we connected as well, really well. So to have to do these date scenes, especially where there's just this so much awkwardness, and we don't have that in real life. You know, it was kind of like when the camera was we're off. I mean, he was showing me his beautiful poetry. Sorry, I'm putting you on blast. But he would just show me like his beautiful pieces of poetry, and then we'd have to go from that to just being like, you know, all this dead space. So it was definitely finding those specific connections, the on-screen connections that were so different from real life, that was a little bit harder, but helped me kind of step into After and feeling the difference between Alexxis and After.
Thank you so much.